Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Saleh from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing morning here live from our studio in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Ways Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying? I'm excited to be starting off my morning and week with you, our valued viewers. And guess what? It's the last week of the month of March. For me, it's salary week. I don't know about you. And that's why I'm excited. Well, on this show, as you know, we give you the best conversations that shape our future, from politics to governance, everything health. We discuss technology, finance, and of course, trending issues are not left out. Representing 100% on this chair is I, Okikiola Taiwo Jalkmo, your anchor for today. And I'm double excited to share this table with my incredible co-anchors, God's Beauty Israel and Oluchi Precious Emenka. Omenka.
Exactly. Because you still don't know how to pronounce it.
Please.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm from the West. I can't be doing this traditional names. Traditional names and stuff.
From the East. How about that?
Are you from the East?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, God's Beauty. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Beautiful. Weekend was great. Thank you.
What about you?
Me, I'm just wondering what happened to our vocals during the weekend, because it seems to have deepened all of a sudden.
Did you go partying? Because when you say weekend was great,
like that.
And that's you went partying.
So partying in the house of God, literally, that's what it was.
You go house of God, I mean, you don't go house of God. Which is partying in the house of God?
I mean, see, when it comes to like the church is more like my club. I don't know if you get it exactly. So it's the way you see it, you know, that differentiates between each and every one.
So this is totally unrelated to today's topic. But do you think that dancing the secular kind of dance in church is still a valid way of praising God?
Skip.
So,
no, it cannot be skipped. You must answer sincerely or honestly, or just say that you are in between. You're not necessarily here or there. So you have to give me an answer.
So for me, it has always been more about the intention. What exactly is in the back of your head? Are you dancing really to praise God? Are you doing the whole, you know, shaku kind of thing to praise God? Or are you doing it so that people can see that you say don't level up? That's where the problem is. So for me, whenever I'm dancing, whether it is the latest style, whether it's a trending TikTok, whatever, I see it as me praising God. I mean, even when in the Bible where they're telling us how David, you know, how David danced, I'm not sure, you know, it was described that, oh, you're supposed to have a certain way, there's a certain pattern or something. What was stated there, he danced. Do you understand? So it might be whatever. It doesn't have to be, whether it's trending, whether it looks smart to you. I mean, regardless, for me, it's always about the intention. My heart is to praise God, so, you know.
So, Oluchi,
I don't dance. Worship God, hear the word.
This is so, you are spreading, is it misinformation or disinformation? Which one is it that you are spreading,
That's actually
right?
the truth.
No,
Well,
if they go on if they go on our page on YouTube, everything is all about Luchi doing this.
Exactly.
You said in church, worshiping God now. I'm just vibing here on the table.
Vibing. So do you vibe in church?
No, I don't.
So what do you do in church?
It is sanctimonious environment. So I worship and thank God.
How do you worship God?
When you come for my service on Wednesday, I will show you how.
This human being.
People of God, as you can see, me. Okay, so my own personal opinion is that maybe we should stop overthinking the idea of you are replicating what the secular dance is in church, because sometimes you can be so excited. You know, there's a thing about the brain where it stores information without
Yes.
necessarily you saying that, okay, I want this information to be stored. So you can get to church, they're playing these sounds, songs of David, basically.
Songs of David.
And then you are feeling so excited, and then you don't know that you have started giving the whole dances that you have seen over time from social media and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And then if you look at most praise and worship now, if you check them on YouTube, Facebook, and all these things, you see that they also dance the secular dance as a way of gingering people that you don't have to.
You don't necessarily have to be in the club. Baby, this can be your club. Do you understand?
It can be a sanctified place. I don't like to refer it as a club. Well, today's conversation, guys, requires a good pen. That one that is writing, not those ones that know to write well, and a good jotter, of course, because blueprint full here. The guest that we're about to have is a great guest, trust me. So this is the moment for you to call us on 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, click that subscribe button right now. Share this link and tune into channel 145 on your GoTV, and do not miss this. We'll be right back in a jiffy. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now let us quickly take a look at what's making the headlines today. Today we'll be highlighting the top stories from the pages of the Punch newspaper, The Guardian, and of course the New York Times. Starting off quickly with the New York Times, Cause Beauty.
Straight into the New York Times newspaper. By the top right, we see here Congo rebels solidify hold on rich areas. Top right corner, how a law firm decided to fold instead of fight. The main top center, that's the largest headline on the newspaper, says online scammers launder money with ruthless efficiency. Then the left, that's below the main image, we have Canada flies as gold mines in other fields. Center left, we have a diner for the future cut in Mark's present. Then bottom right corner, which is the last headline on the newspaper, has a boxing champ transformed into a heavyweight pitchman. All right, I want to just speak a bit about the online scammers launder money with ruthless efficiency. And I feel like it's something that's really going on. So let's just talk about it a bit. And it says online scammers are using advanced techniques to launder money, making it nearly impossible for authorities to trace or recover stolen funds. They exploit financial loopholes, current cryptocurrency platforms, and unregulated markets to clean illicit earnings. Now, the efficiency of this laundering networks enable cyber criminals to operate with impunity, funding further illegal activities such as fraud, drug trafficking, and even terrorism. Now, as technology evolves, law enforcement struggle to keep up, leaving individual businesses and financial institutions vulnerable to large-scale economic damage. Now, the growing sophistication of online money laundering poses a major threat to global financial security. And I feel like that's what I'm talking about, because I think 2-3 weeks ago, there's this video I watched where, let me just quickly tell out the story, right? I really don't know like much about it, but I just know like surface level of the story. And it's about a man that is suing, I think, First Bank, because according to him, there's a certain amount of money that was taken out of his account, and now First Bank don't have a clue on how exactly the money left. He also don't have a clue on how the money left. So imagine, I feel like that can be very scary.
My money, you don't have a clue how it left.
Exactly.
So
Again,
it's a common thing that happens in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Where people go and report to banks and nothing happens. They'll just say we are working on it, and eventually, some way, somehow, you forget the money. Or some, to the extent, will just say, oh, we're leaving the bank, and then stop using that bank anymore. But it's a very common thing that happens to Nigerians a lot. In fact, I was very surprised when this one even made headlines in Nigeria.
You know that.
It's a funny thing that, because if you really investigate this thing, you find out that some people internally, though not everybody, siphon some of these funds. So the reason why you can't trace them, or the reason why they store, is because there
it's not themselves
mago things happening behind the scene.
That's actually true. But again, it just shows that this whole cyber crimes is literally like becoming more, rampant than it used to. Because, and again, I really don't know how, because it was even stated here that in as much as we know that, technology is evolving, and it's technology, I mean, it's the tech age, right? And it's something that we really need, given that it's not really here to, take out certain things, but just here to amplify and, just help each and every one of us. But now, given the situation, I really don't know where exactly we should even start from. Because if you say let's put certain laws, what laws are you going to, what laws is going to stop certain criminals from, doing what they want to do? So I just hope that at the end of the day, we are able to find a balance. But just like you said, that it's something that is becoming more important for us to talk about. Because again, that's something where we say we Nigerians, we already know. But for it to make headlines in the New York Times, that it's something that is a global problem now. Yeah.
So I want to, before I allow Oluchi take her papers, when you were talking about how cyber crime have now become a very popular thing, it now brought me to think about how these fraudsters actually recruit in terms of mentoring people to now take those positions. In fact, if you do better than your boss will praise you. And that now brings me to think about how people can easily that negative influencers can gather people to mentor them and thrive on that bad business. But we now struggle to see when good people can now bring a lot of people together to now help them to now thrive in that good business. So that's one thing I think that people who are out there doing one legit business, being concerned about whether or not cybercrime is increasing. Please also bring people in to now tackle cybercrime so that there is a counterbalance in what goes wrong and how it can become right. And over time, if it becomes harder for them to do it, they will eventually leave the business, just like every other thing.
I think this her story is more interesting. You can almost stretch it. So when you were mentioning laws and everything, technology, though, has its cons, but it's that same technology that can solve the ongoing problem with the cyber crimes. So people that are doing cybersecurity and all those, I don't know what they call them, but if we begin to train them more to become more vigilant and become better experts, these things will be tackled. So let's go to the Punch papers. The major headline reads, Naira for crude. Marketers fear price hike as federal government suspends sale to Dangote. Ipman slams depot owners for stockpiling product. Federal government and Dangote resumes talk today. Petrol crisis ceases in Niger after Nigeria's bailout. 2 US-based Nigerians accomplices face 62-year jail for $50 million fraud. Above the major headline, it says South-South governors, National Assembly plan to reconcile Fubara and lawmakers. Atiku Obi camps tackle Bode George Shekaru over anti-coalition comment. I don't know if we have much time to stretch this story, but the whole, over the weekend or maybe last week, we had this crude Naira for Naira sale and how it was imposed for Dangote and all. And of course, it's not benefiting them. And there is the recent story how that they've stopped producing or so. And then some marketers are now trying to hoard petrol that they already have, because if we're not getting a lot of it, we want to get more by the time it's now scarce. And, they are also being warned that if they go through that route, it's not going to benefit them as much because they could lose from it. So the summary of the story is that there's an impending... I don't like to say this, but probably an impending fuel scarcity with the way their negotiations are not coming to.
I always like to wrap up this kind of or Nigerian papers with Nigeria we hail thee. It is that's I think that always wraps up everything that has to do with the Nigerian stories, because it's almost like Nigeria is to stress us. But yes, we're in Nigeria for a reason. Well, this Monday, join us as we explore the business and venture of speaking, the journey of service, and the art of selling. This is a very interesting topic. So we'll be taking your questions and comments live on our social media. So please be sure to join the conversation. We'll be right back after this break with our guests. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking speak, serve, sell. How can women leverage their voices? And to be honest, this is not just about women. We're even talking about everybody in general, because there has to be a balance. So you know that this show is always talking about women, women, women. So how can the general public speak, serve, and sell? In today's world, women, especially voices, are more important more than ever. But how can women use their voices to make a meaningful impact, build successful careers, and drive business results? Well, joining us to deliver this topic is the Queen of Talk herself, Joyce Daniels. Joyce Daniels, the Queen of Talk, as she said, is Africa's leading executive speaking coach, public speaking strategist, and thought leader in professional communication, with almost 2 decades empowering business owners, executives, and emerging leaders to command the stage, amplify their influence, and monetize their speaking. Especially, I'm very interested in that one. Anyways, through her firm, Joyce Daniels and Associates, she trains and coaches professionals across corporate, political, and entrepreneurial spaces, equipping them with the skills to speak with confidence, clarity, and authority. Joyce is the convener of the Money Making Mouth Conference and the Bold and Audacious Conference. And these are platforms designed to empower individuals to leverage public speaking for impact and income. She's so passionate about helping high-achieving women transition into thought leadership and monetize their expertise through speaking. She has so virtually and virtuously graced us with our screen with her presence. Welcome, Joyce. Good morning.
Thank you so much for
So
having
excited
me.
to
Good
have you
morning
here.
to you.
So excited to have
The
you
excitement is mine.
So let's go straight into the conversation. I want to start off with the barriers before we now talk about solutions and all of these things. These are very obvious things, but I think that if we highlight them and sort of summarize them, people can, I've told them to get their paper and jotter ready, their pen and jotter ready. So I would like us to start off with like levels. So first of all, what are some of the systematic barriers that prevent women from using their voices and achieving their full potential?
Number one, I will take away the word systemic, because I always say start from within before the system holds you back. Number one is self-doubt. I find that a lot of women deal with self-doubt much more than men. I think it might be cultural. I believe that many women who are raised to be seen and not heard are the ones who doubt themselves more. The women who I see are very forthright are those who you hear say, my father said I could, my mother said I could. In fact, more often than not, the very confident women are those who had fathers that affirmed them. And those who are not as confident are those who had fathers and sometimes mothers who did not affirm them. So you see, maybe we will link this system and say it starts with the family system, how women and the young girls are raised. So number one is that level of affirmation from family, especially parents as first custodians of the heart of women and men. Number two will be experiences, past experiences or learned experiences from other people's stories. Some women have never experienced any backlash to their confidence, but because they've heard that other women have, they learn and then they accept what's not originally theirs. These are two major challenges from the family, from experience, and of course within the, what I might call the outer systems, work, school, and the environment. It would be not so much as what the women are coming from or coming with from home. I'll leave it here for now.
All right, thank you so much, Joyce Daniels. I'm super elated to have you here, and thank you for having this conversation with us. I'm glad that you've highlighted experiences as part of the systemic barriers, even though you didn't want to use the word systemic. And I want us to stretch that experiences a lot. So there's something called, I don't know if I should call it a wound, where people feel like, you know, they say this thing that experiences are very real to people, and it takes a whole lot for them to come out of it. So there are experiences for some women now that have probably been silent when they should have spoken out. You know, they probably did not, were not as assertive as they would have wanted to in positions where they should have. And some of these things stands like barriers in front of them, even when another opportunity comes. So they've almost learned the tricks on how to speak confidently, how to just sell, how to be smart and all of that. But those barriers are still there. How can they recover from experiences or wounds where they inhibited their voice based on whatever happened?
Thank you for this question. How to recover when you've been hurt? I would use the analogy of a regular wound on your body. If you've been hurt, you have a scar, a scratch, a cut on any part of your body. I'm just using the hand because it's the easiest to show here. One of the first things you do is you open it up for air to get in, means you talk about it. You make sure you express it to someone, and then you find the right tincture, either it's a methylated spirit, iodine, or one of those tinctures that can help, and you apply it to it. So what do we mean? You get help from relevant authority, like a coach, like a trainer, like a mentor, like someone who has gone ahead of you and you believe can help. So do not try to fix it yourself if you are not qualified to. You know, many times they will give you some of these medication like paracetamol, Panadol, and say after 2 to 3 days, if there's no improvement, go see a doctor. So if you've tried to fix it yourself and you haven't gotten help, then see a professional, see a coach, see a helper, like myself. But what else can you do? What are those tinctures that you can apply by yourself? Go back to portfolioizing your success, your experience. What has given you the right to speak up? Your experience, your studying, your knowledge, your desire, that ability to constantly go back to thyself be true. I ask, who is thyself? That ability to go back to yourself, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your wins, and pull strength from them. I call it anchoring. You anchor in the place of your strength. We hear it all the time that, what's that thing? Tough. What's that thing about tough?
Tough people do.
But tough people do.
Yeah.
So how do you get tough? You get tough by revisiting your anchors constantly. For example, your anchor could be God. The fact that you know that God has given you a calling, a vision. Your anchor could be your name. Your name means this. For example, my name means leader. So when somebody tries to shut me down, I go back to my name and say, no, leaders are not shut down.
Come on.
And then I regroup and I come back. So what does your name mean? That could be an anchor for you. Your anchor could be your experiences. You've been on this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You've had all these number of wins. So you say, no, I've had this number of wins. Nobody can shut me down. And then you go back to learn. I will leave us with one thing here, which is the ability to find common ground. We call it, I'm trying to find the right word now. We call it, the word is coming. That ability to find common ground. You may not like a person or be friendly with the person or be friends with the person, but you will find ability, you will find common ground, because it's that common ground that might give you leverage to speak. It's called rapport. That's the word I was trying to find. It's called rapport. When someone is constantly trying to shut you down, now I'm going to ask you to stoop to conquer. Remember, tough people do the tough things. Find rapport. Why is this person shutting me down? Is it because they do not know how far I've come? So don't fight. Go behind the scenes and find what else could I do to find rapport. Some people are not as obnoxious as they seem. And then until we have really tried everything, which many times we have not tried, we can't give up. A lady reached out to me years ago and said she constantly had this challenge with a boss of hers who was always shutting her down. And I asked her a very seemingly unrelated question. I said, who is your boss's favorite child? And she came like, what? What? What does it have to do with anything? I said, every parent, believe me or not, has a favorite child. Even though as parents we say we do not, we usually do.
True.
I said, go and find out who her favorite child is. And for the next 3 days, every day you get to work, ask her how that favorite child is doing. She called back to me about 5 days later. She was like, Joyce, I can't even believe I'm in the same office. I found the favorite child because somehow she alludes to that child. Somehow that child has more photos in her office. And when I would ask her, oh, how is this child doing? How is this child doing? She, oh, my baby, oh, she's so good. You know, she makes me proud. And, oh, so what do we help? You've appealed to something that is in her place, common ground. You've appealed to something that is bigger than herself. And all of a sudden she notices you. This is what some people put in negative terms, office politics. We look at politics as a wrong thing, as a bad thing. I will flip it and not call it office politics. I will say building human relations.
Sure.
Sometimes to get what you really want, you need to find what that person wants and give it to them. We call it negative names like ass kissing, sucking up. No, it's tough ways of finding your way in life. It's stooping to conquer. And until we as women learn the fine art of doing so without losing ourselves, sometimes we would not get what we really want. Are you, Mike?
Please don't leave the mic. Don't leave the mic, ma'am.
Oh my God, I love it so much. Thank you so much, Joyce Daniel. Heavy on names, actually, because I think one of the things that has helped me, you know, be where I am with confidence and all of that, I think it's literally because of my name. I mean, my name is God's Beauty, so there's this, you know, there's this way I picture myself, there's this way I see myself. I don't see myself like one person that should be thrown away or talked to anyhow. I feel like I'm God's beauty, so baby,
Yes,
there's a certain way you should talk to me. Do you understand? So yeah, so on this note, I would like us to talk a bit about building confidence, because I feel like one of the reasons or one of the problems that women have in this our generation is that confidence, right? I mean, you hear a lot of women that are into the NGO helping women. You hear them say, oh, we help this woman, we fight for her. At the end of the day, she's going back to her husband. Do you understand? Again, it's also, I feel like it's also like a cultural thing. Do you understand? That mindset of, oh, women are supposed to be dependent on men. So I want us to talk a bit about building confidence for the women that know that, okay, I'm ready to, you know, leave. I'm ready to, you know, I'm ready for people to hear my voice. I'm ready to amplify. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to make the money. I'm ready to break the bars. How exactly do they start? Do you understand? How exactly do they, you know, build their confidence? I'd like you to speak on it a bit.
For the sake of this conversation, allow me to speak to the character in the Bible called Esther, which a lot of women refer to. Esther decided to position herself to be queen after she had been inspired by her cousin Mordecai. It wasn't her original dream. It was Mordecai's dream for her, but she leaned into it. So to any woman who is listening here, if the confidence and speaking up was not your original dream, allow me propose it to you and you can lean into it. I am your Mordecai right now. Now, when Mordecai took her into the harem to prepare for the journey, he handed her over to the master eunuch who understood the needs of the king. So woman, go into a place of learning. Learn what the king requires. Learn what speaking requires. You can learn from almost any platform right now. There is YouTube, there are free courses if you say you don't have the monies or the wherewithal to pay someone to teach you. But by all means, learn. Esther spent 1 year learning from the eunuch. And when it was time to be chosen, she had learned what was required, and it was, as it were, not a difficult thing to do. So to build confidence, you must, of necessity, learn what confidence requires. I'll give you 2 things. Number 1 is self-belief. I come back to it. Believing in self, which more often than not will be anchored in something. Esther's anchor was her desire to win. It was not her history. She had no history of great success. She didn't come from a wealthy family. She was not a know-all, be-all. She leaned into her desire to win. So your anchor could be your desire to be a more confident woman who can speak for the benefit of self, community, business, and money. So it's your desire is valid, it's a valid anchor. You could also lean into other anchors like your experience. I've been too battered to be quiet. Yes, you could say that. I have been too beaten in life to be quiet. Or I am too experienced in what is good and right to be quiet. I need to mentor, guide, or teach other people, or profit from my experiences so far. So you determine what your anchor could be and then lean into it. There is a voice in the head that usually makes us quiet. It says to you things like you are not enough, you don't know enough, you will make a mistake. They would ask you a question you can't answer. Now, this voice, contrary to what a lot of people think, this voice is not trying to shut you up. This voice is trying to make you look closer. Now, this voice, put it in front of you. Give her a name. Give that voice a name. Put her in front of you and say, my dear girl, I call that voice, my name for her is Pearl. I said, Pearl, sit here. Why do you say I'm not enough? And Pearl says, well, check all the things, check all the experiences you've gathered. And so I get my pen and I sit with a piece of paper and start writing out all my experiences. Okay, experience number 1, experience number 2, experience number 3. And Pearl now moves me on to, now check if you are ready. Do you know how exactly to communicate this? And I say, okay, well, I don't know, but let me go check. And then I improve the way I communicate. Pearl, that voice is not saying I shouldn't. She's saying, check again. Check to be sure you are ready. So today, check. And then become ready. Tough people again. Become tougher. Tough enough to build the confidence. Confidence comes from somewhere. It usually comes from a place of I want, I desire, I can, and I will. Let me use David very quickly before I yield the mic. David looked at Goliath, and all he could think of was, I've killed before. I killed lions, I killed bears. I know how to kill. And therefore, to kill this one, I don't need to go up at him with all my energies. I only need a device with enough velocity to hit him somewhere hard enough to make him fall down. So, dear woman, look into your past and portfoliorize your wins like David did. That's where confidence comes from. So people thought, well, you're not a soldier. You're just a shepherd boy. And to him, it's no, I'm not just a shepherd boy. I'm a shepherd boy with experience at killing, and therefore I know what to do. So what is in your experience that you can make your portfolio to go into the next level? That's what builds confidence. Look inwards, write it down, and then deploy it. I yield the mic.
My phone is full. My head is full. But this is so such an eye opener for me, and I'm sure that my co-anchors too are in the mood for a lot of more knowledge. And I think that the audience also have gotten quite a lot of to-dos basically now. But we'll go on a quick break right now. When we return, we'll now talk more about women for women, the political landscape, how to sell, how to serve, everything put together. So please stay with us, our viewers. We'll be right back.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back, people. So we still have Joyce Daniels here, the Queen of Talk. You people can see why we call her the Queen of Talk now. So you see it, you see it. Well, Joyce, I want to quickly ask a question. I'm in an environment where there are more women than men, and then if you find, this is talking personally now, you see that on this table we're all women, and sometimes lending your voice can somewhat look like overdo. Learning your voice can somewhat look like I too know. Learning your voice sometimes will be like you have too many experiences, sometimes either good or bad. Most times the bad always takes the glory of when you say too many bad things, people start to avoid you, that you have too many problems in your life. But to be honest now, how can women support like other women and also help in the case of maybe bad experiences, other women help amplify each other's voices, like to create a more equitable and just society, rather than the cases of things that we have seen now where they now say, now woman, they do woman. Look at now, who came out to attack her fellow women. So how can we create that support system for a just society, narrowing it down to Nigeria now?
First of all, I still cringe sometimes at the whole idea of now women, they do women. Who does men? It's men. It's a human problem. It's not a gender problem. Men fight men. Men fight women. Women fight men. Women fight women. So I'm never really caught up in, it was her own fellow women who did this to her. I try not to do that because it takes away sometimes from the issues. If it's a human challenge, then it's a human challenge. So how can we support other women? First of all, we would only support the things we align with. So if a woman is taking a position that you do not align with, it's tougher to align with her just because she's a woman. It's the same way. If a man is taking a position you don't align with, it's more difficult to align with him, and it has nothing to do with gender. So I want to really make that clear, that sometimes the challenge is not about gender, it's about issues and values. That said, if you do see a woman who takes a stand that you believe in as a woman, please lend your voice, because across the world, we find that many times we don't lend our voices until the trouble gets to our own domain. And perhaps if we lend our voices early enough, the challenges wouldn't get to us. So let's not wait until it becomes a personal problem until we lend voices. We're usually afraid of lending voices to issues because we are afraid of backlash. That goes back to the conversation about building confidence based on your anchors, based on your vision, based on your worldview, based on the things you desire and where you are going to. So someone who is afraid to speak in private will not speak up in public. It's as simple as that. So let's go back to building confidence enough to speak and tying it to why we are here on earth. That story about the grave being the richest place on earth, because many times we die with the unsaid things. We die with the unlived dreams. Yeah. No, so I'm challenging every woman and man who's watching this right now. Don't die empty. Say everything you should say here and now so that it doesn't go with you to the grave, including standing up for another woman if and when you see that your values align. I do support a lot of women, and I speak out because I am clear that, one, I'm going to die empty. Nothing I want to say will be unsaid. The day my spirit leaves my body, there will be nothing left in it that I wanted to say and I didn't say. So I'm asking the viewers who are watching now or later, live the same way. By the time you're going to bed every day, did I say everything that was on my mind? Please let the answer be yes. And if the answer is no, the very next day, say it so that we don't fall into that balance. If you have been through experiences, good and bad, my challenge to you watching now is try to ensure you speak up to leave a legacy to those whose lives can be better, because you are teaching lessons based on your wins and your losses. If you've had any challenge in life, find a way to talk about it in a way that another woman or man will have their life better because they gleaned from you. This is how I respond to this right now. Remember, it's not only about women supporting women. It's about humans supporting humans, aligning with the values that are right. And if that person you're aligning with is a woman, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Joyce Daniels. Really, really awesome statements there. So the question I want to ask is, I want to link it to politics now, because we've had discussions on this show where people tell us that, because women are really not as represented as we want in politics. So we've heard statements like, be the man, don't cower, be a man in politics and all of that. And sometimes I'm thinking that being a woman and being feminine, is it mutually exclusive now from being confident? I don't think a confident woman needs to really look like a man or sound like a man to be confident. You can still show your confidence even with your femininity, your emotionalism in that sense. But some people don't seem to agree with this. And that's why I'm asking you this now. For women who are in tough spaces, who are in very competitive spaces like politics, where there's this pressure to want to act like a man, to want to raise your voice, to want to argue, how do they balance their femininity while still being confident in really tough spaces?
To quickly add to that, Joyce, I would really like it to be like a very personal example or explanation, because you have been in politics and you have run for an elective position before. So please make it very personal and give us key notes that we can take home from here. Thank you.
I will. Thank you. For the sake of this conversation, I would like to take it away slightly from feminine energy versus masculine energy. I would like to anchor it on what is required. Because sometimes when we look at it from the lens of, am I using my feminine energy or my masculine energy, sometimes it can get blurry. So let's look at what is required. In politics, you need a voice. So start building your voice. Usually that voice is built through community service and community presence, meaning the people in your community see you, know you, and know what you have done or can do, male or female, do it. If you need to start buying jam forms for people, doing projects in schools, giving sanitary pads to girls, building one thing or the other, giving solar panels to those who are in need, supporting with boreholes and all the likes, community service. If you need to do that, then do it to be seen, to be known, to be liked, to be trusted. Number two, be very clear that any venture required, any venture you will get into, politics, business, marriage, requires funds and funding. If you do not have the funds, like I didn't have all the funds I needed, so I built a cohort of people that I asked for financial support, because every air you breathe in the political arena, you pay for. But let me quickly add this caveat. You know, when you're going in for traditional marriage at home, they give you massive lists. You know, when a dear parent or dear person around you passes on and you need to do a funeral, they give you massive lists. By culture, we are an expensive set of people to uphold in Nigeria, and I dare say across many African cultures. When you have a baby, people tell you, no, go wash them. When you buy a car or build a house or move into a new house, they go come and say, you enter a house, you know, wash them. We are a culture of collecting. It's no different in politics. So when people say politics is expensive in our area, in our culture, in our climate, I say everything else is also expensive. Marriage, burials, funerals, having a child, buying a car, building a house is expensive.
Just
It's where we are.
existing is expensive.
It's expensive. So it's a cultural thing. I don't want to talk about how that culture will change right now. But going into it, you will need a wolf pack or a cohort of people who will support you financially, or you will build a wealth of what do you call them? Streams of income that can support your political ambition. So whether you're a man or a woman, you will build that wealth. And then number 3, where I leave it, a support group, a support system, people who can speak for you. Even in business, when you're trying to get certain deals, you need to sometimes find who knows who to speak on your behalf. It's no different in politics. Don't shy away from it. The difference is that many times women don't know how to ask for help because we think it makes us look weak or vulnerable. No, it is the tough person who wants something done that would find the right way to get help and get support without sounding or looking weak. The most serious people in life, you see people who are trying to found businesses, startups, they go for what we call rounds of fundraising, right? Because they're serious about what they want. So if you're serious about your political ambition, you will find rounds of fundraising and fundraisers by getting that support group, that cohort of people who will support you and speak up for you. Then I leave it with this. If the community you are trying to get support from is still having a challenge with women speaking up, please don't be shy to get men to speak for you. I didn't say husband, I said men. There will be those men that the community leaders listen to, engage with, trust. Now find your way to those men and ask them to speak on your behalf, because guess what? It is those same men who speak on the behalf of the up-and-coming political men. Yes or no? So don't be careful, be very careful not to make it about I'm a woman. Make it about this is what I need, this is what is required in this space, and get it done. In my experience, I had to reach out to men who could speak for me. Men who were known in the community, men who were trusted and liked. And I went to them, we call them political leaders. Some people will say, oh, well, isn't that godfatherism? And I go, don't paint it with a negative tone. Please don't do that. In business, you still need mentors and sponsors. So it's the same thing in politics. Stop painting it with negative intonations. I need godfathers. I need godmothers. I need people. In fact, when you're born into certain religious fairs, right there on your 8th day or a few days into your being birth, you're given a godmother, a godfather, because these are people who are supposed to train you in the right way to go. It's no different in politics. Embrace it and look at the positive sides of it, because it is tough people that will stand at the end of the day. And these are the things that make us tough. By having clear ideas, by building our financial wealth or financial cohort, people who can support us, and having support groups, male or female. And if you're a woman, you need it even more. So get to it like I did and like many other women have.
Thank you so much, Joyce. This is a lot, though. Where are your books, guys? This is a lot. All right, given that, the world is evolving and social media is that place that people are, using to speak out and all of that. So let's talk about how social media can be used, to amplify the voices of women. And how, because I don't think we've talked about how we can make money with the talking.
No, I wanted you to really ask your question before we now focus on the cell.
Oh.
And then the cell is going to be me asking her what the mouth-making conference does and the bold and audacious conference does. So let her answer your question and then we'll go straight into the cell. Yes, of course.
So please repeat your question. Let me be clear what I'm supposed to respond to.
Okay, so how can social media be used to amplify the voices of women?
Once
how can
again,
we use the tool?
Own your story, own your journey. Any platform that can take your voice to the next level, use it. Look, nobody owes us anything. Nobody owes you anything. If you want something in life like David, go for it. If you want something in life like Esther, go for it. Nobody owed Joseph nothing. Joseph said to the butler and the baker, when you get to Pharaoh, tell him about me. So amplify your own voice using every platform possible that you can lay your hands on, because nobody owes you anything. And look, help is not coming from anywhere. You have to start it. It is when you are on a journey, amplifying your voice, people now get inspired. Oh, I like what she's doing. And guess what? They begin to share. They begin to help you amplify. But nobody's going to come into your house and take your voice and put it out there. Dear woman, if you want to amplify your voice, start by amplifying it yourself first, and then find other platforms to support, to help. We tend to give support to people who are already on a journey. I don't want us to have that mentality of, well, how can people help me? You know, I'm a woman. Help yourself first, and then people will find ways to help you. And then you ask. Remember, Joseph said to them, tell Pharaoh. So who are you telling today to tell somebody about you? You see? Don't not say. Say. Don't not ask. Ask people. Tell this person about me. Tell this person about me. If you ask 100 people, at least 5 will help today. Tomorrow, ask another 500. Tomorrow, ask another 1,000. But by all means, be asking for help. Don't expect help to come without asking. Ask and ye shall receive. Don't ask, fill in the blank spaces.
Now let's talk about selling. We've spoken about speaking, we've spoken about service, especially in politics. Now we want to talk about how to sell. And then we know that you are like the pro at making sure that women can sell their voices, women can gain value for their stories, for their experiences. So in a few minutes to wrap up the show, please tell us how we can sell our voices and make some shmoney. This green money.
It's important.
You know.
It's very important. How do you sell? You sell by saying what it is you offer and at what price you offer it. As simple as that. If you get into the market today, somebody say, Madam, come buy my tomato, come buy my tomato. She's telling you what she sells. So tell the world what you offer. I help women speak confidently and make money doing so. I help professionals monetize their speaking. I help professionals prepare to speak on any stage in the world and make money doing so. Make it clear what it is you are offering. And then what your price is. Come buy my tomato now, only 100 naira. What's your price? Put a price to it. So that when people say, how much is it? You don't go, no, when you ask the woman in the market, how much is the tomato? She doesn't say, she said 3 now, 100 naira. I go give you 5 for 150. Be clear. Be very clear. Tell everyone. You see, we have things called billboards. What are billboards? They're people telling us, this is what I offer, and sometimes they write the price right there. This is how much it is. Become your first billboard. You have your WhatsApp status, you have your Facebook, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have LinkedIn, you have YouTube, you have WhatsApp groups, you have WhatsApp broadcast lists. So today, Monday, the 24th of March, tell people what it is you offer and how much you offer it for. It's as simple as that. Somebody will say, but there could be a deeper way. So learn how to sell what it is you offer in a way that people can connect to. Yeah. So don't just say, I sell water. Say something like, I sell ice cold water that can quench your thirst in less than 1 second. You see, it's the same thing, but said in a more relatable form, in a way that somebody might want to now buy your water. I sell water of life that gives you refreshment and even makes your eyes clearer. See, afterwards, how does water make my eyes clearer? So say it in a way that's interesting, that can build connection, and then remember, be quick to say what your price is, especially when people ask. That's how to sell. At the Money Making Mouth Tribe that organizes the Money Making Mouth Conference, we teach women the principles of understanding what it is you sell, understanding how to sell it, and understanding how to discover your price, because some women struggle with what price should I sell it for. So we show you the methods on how to determine your price. At the Bold and Audacious Conference, which is a conference for people, young people aged between 18 to 25, we teach them how to become bold and audacious, to understand what it is their voices are, what it is they want to say, how to deal with friends, how to navigate school, getting your first job, knowing how to communicate with your first boss or your team members, those things that can make you less of if you don't know what to do. That's what Bold and Audacious is about. Money Making Mouth is, I've seen a lot of women who speak at conferences, at webinars, at consulting situations, and yet don't make a lot of money. So we show you how to price those services, because more often than not, you already know what to offer, but you've not known how to position it right to make money from it.
Thank you,
Heavy,
Joyce.
heavy.
Thank
Many
you,
thanks, Joyce Daniels.
Many thanks, Joyce. Well, I'm sure that our viewers have enjoyed the show. I'm sure. This is not, I'm not doubting it. I'm very sure that you have enjoyed the show. And please, this is also the time for you to follow us on all our social media platforms showing on the screen. We're going to come your way again tomorrow, giving you another hot topic. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you to my co-anchors for
Thank
your
you so
insightful
much.
contributions. I will see you again tomorrow. Remember to follow us on @Official Upgrade TV on YouTube. Bye-bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?